We're going to talk a little bit today about spinning some meteors. I haven't been able to find a whole lot of instruction online, so I decided to post a little video with some beginner tips and things that I just kind of found out on my own so that you don't have to find out all by yourself. So anyway, start with, these are my practice meteor. Is this close enough to look at them? Basically, it's just two rubber balls. They're kind of semi-squishy, but they've got a little heft to them, and I've taken an eye bolt and screwed it all the way down to the other end of the rubber ball. I put epoxy on the eye bolt before I put it in there so that it won't pull out by itself and go flying off and whack somebody in the face, which I've done. You don't want to do. And this is just a little swivel hasp that you can get at the hardware store, same place where you get the eye bolts, actually. And it makes it easy to change out the poi heads, and it also makes it easy for the poi heads to spin on their own, which is good because if you spin for very long, then your rope will get all twisted up in the middle and it starts to get really torqued down and it's hard to spin, and then when you put it down it gets all kinked up. So you want those swivel hasps if you can do it. You can start out practicing with sock poi tied together in the middle. That's what I did. But I think if you're serious about it at all, you're going to want to switch up to like a nylon cord or a poly cord or something like this with the swivel clasps, because it just makes it easier to spin. As far as the length goes, you want to be just a little bit longer than thumb to thumb. So this is a good length for me. And that seems to make a difference. Much shorter than this, and it's not comfortable for me to spin. Much longer than this, and they start to hit the ground. So it just depends on you and what your wingspan is and what you feel comfortable with. But I found that that's a good length for myself at least. So that's the meteors themselves and the construction. And now we're going to do a little bit of weaving, because that's really cool looking and not too real hard to learn. If you spin poi, I'll break it down you a little bit like that. What you're going to do is start with the center of the cord in your hand, like this, across your four fingers. And we're going to bring them up and over to start. And that's going to split the poi heads and get us started into our weave. I'm going to do a backwards one first. And basically, it's just like with the poi, except with one hand. Your thumb is going to be doing the work of your left hand, if you're right-handed, which I am. So for your dominant hand, your thumb is going to take over for the hand that you're not using. Your pinky side is going to take over for your dominant hand. So when I flip it over, it's still going to be that same over, under, out, just like you would do with poi. So here we go. Spin them once or twice. And back it up a little bit. Okay, we're going to toss it over and then bring it back around over here. And what I'm doing to get that split and keep it is I'm letting the cord wrap. On my dominant side, it's wrapping over my thumb, and on my non-dominant side, it's wrapping over my pinky. Just like it would if you were doing poi and using both hands, left and right, but now you're just letting one hand do the work for both of them. Can you zoom in on my hand? And if you look carefully, even though the poi are going really fast, your hand's not going that fast. Your hand is kind of just cranking it up and transferring that energy all the way out to the end, and that's what's making them look like they're going really quick. Okay, so that's your backwards weave. For your forwards weave, it's a little bit weirder. I'm going to show it to you two ways, because the way I learned it was just to intuit it. If you spin poi, this might work for you. I'm going to turn away from the camera for a second to show you, because if you start doing your reverse weave, you turn around and bring it to the front, your hand might just go ahead and figure out where it needs to be to keep that spin going, because you're just going to tangle and untangle the poi just like you would if you were spinning with two hands. You're going to start spinning backwards, just like I was. And then I'm going to bring it around and start doing it forwards. And if you look at my hand, it's still that over-under out, just like spinning poi, except your thumb and your pinky side are your left and your right hand. I find it helpful if you do spin poi, think of that little flip